Happy Monday. I hope everyone has had a great day. I woke up this morning just feeling very grateful. I was like, today's going to be a grateful, good day. And it was really decent. So I hope your day was good too. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie. I'm a private investigator I'm a private investigator and a private investigator. I'm a PI and I'm a saint artist. So I sling this makeup that I'm showing you guys. And I wanted to do a really quick tutorial for you guys as requested, but I did do, my Tampa girlies. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, thank you. So I made that video today because I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce. I've never really cared for her music. Nothing struck me as exciting. And so I just never really cared for her music. And so her new song came out and are they calling it country? I'm like, this isn't country. And so I wanted to kind of make fun of the fact that I am so not country. I don't like country music. Even though I have a very Southern accent when I'm mad. But I'm not I'm not a country girl, whatever. And so but I do have a pair of boots that I bought when I went to, Gatlinburg, and I saw these neon pair of boots. They were look, I'm a neon girl, and they're glow in the dark. And last year at the Saint Conference, it was in San Antonio, Texas. And so they did this kiosk where you could build your own cowboy hat. So that's the only reason I have those. And then when my dad died, he was a lieutenant at the sheriff's office, and I got his belt buckle that said his name on it. And it said Martin County Sheriff's Office. And so I was just being silly and threw together something funny. And everybody was like, this is not country music. And I'm like, I know, that's the whole joke, is that this song is no more country than I am. So it was really funny. I wish I should have taken a picture, but I had my husband's belt put on me backwards because I don't know how to work a belt buckle. I just got my dad's belt buckle when he died. And so I just happened to have his belt buckle as a keepsake. And so I had my husband's black leather belt on me backwards so that you couldn't see the buckle. And I had the belt buckle held on with a rubber band, a hair tie. And I had these stupid jeans on that are not tight enough to be cowgirl jeans. And then I had the, what else did I have on? Oh, just some tank top. It was so funny. And so the whole thing was just a joke, but apparently everybody thought that they were yeah, but if you don't, this isn't country. Let me show you real country. And I'm like, no, I do not like country music. It was so freaking funny. I look like a child playing dress up, but I guess in the video, everybody was like, no, it looks good. And I was like, well, that was not what I was going for. So anyways, it was just supposed to be silly, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyway, so let me get out my other palette. This is the one that when I do color matches, by the way, if you comment the word match, it should automatically send you a link to my color match. Someone comment match and see if it does it automatically, please. I don't like country music at all. Oh, everyone tells me to listen to Jelly Roll, and I'm like, who the hell? I'm so glad, Connie, because I literally have no business owning cowboy boots. It was a saint leadership retreat that I earned here at Saint, and it was in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge. We went to, there was 80 of us. We went to Dollywood and we went shopping in Pigeon Forge, and that's where I got these boots, and I just had to have them. And they're like, you're never going to wear those. And I'm like, nah. And so I finally wore them today for this country. And so it was really funny. Anyway, so when I do a color match, so if you want a color match, just comment the word match and you guys tell me if it works. But I usually match my customers to something this size. You can get smaller or bigger. You don't have to get this size. This is just kind of a medium, middle of the road kind of size. And when I color match you, I usually color match to a foundation, a concealer, and a contour. And then a lip and a cheek shade, 2 different lip and cheek shades, a bronzer, and then a couple of eyeshadows, a setting powder, an illuminator. Oh, yours didn't work? Thanks for letting me know. If it doesn't work, I'll just go back after and send it to you and send it to everybody who needs it. So anyways, this makeup is really, really easy. And I just want to show you, I like to show the application over and over again because it really, really is that easy. I start with this 3D brush. This 3D brush is probably the most versatile. Susan, okay, the 8 palette is good too. The 12 palette is nice because it's just a little bit bigger, and if you don't fill it up all the way, you can always like add more to it. And then if you want like the bad mamma jamma, like the big guns, like get the 27 or the 18 palette. Yay! Okay. Yes, Amber. Remember that time you said, hey, I forgot you. I forgot about you. And I was like, oh, thanks. So I start with my contour. And I put my contour, you can see it's not super much. It's very, very little. And when I apply my contour, I apply it, I want you to think of goggles, right? This is our goggles. Like when you go scuba diving, when you think of goggles, all the area under the glass of the goggles, we need to keep bright. So all the dark is going to go outside of that. So when you're applying your bronzer and your contour and all of that, think goggles. So go outside and around the goggles. You'll see I'm going to leave that whole area inside the goggles really bright. And you can see I'm not like scraping or digging or shoveling into my cream makeup. These are all cream, but they're not very like, it's not like wet creamy. You know what I mean? It's just like a regular like nice light kind of cream. And these are really pigmented, so you don't need a whole super lot. And when you apply these, you just kind of apply them. Once you learn where they go, it's really, really easy. And that's what I help you with. That's what I'm here to teach you. So I can help you with all of that. And so you apply as much or as little as you want, but you will see that when it looks really, really scary at first, you'll notice that it's not so scary once you get it all blended and everything. So it just looks really terrifying. Someone said manic. They said it's very manic. It's like there's beeswax. Yes, and the beeswax is so good for you. We are coming to Australia soon. We're thinking by the end of the year. UK and Australia probably by the end of the year, and then Mexico by the beginning of next year. So we are going global. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun to kind of introduce this to more women across the globe. I am so freaking excited. Like I'm dying. Okay. So I just contoured with my contour shade. This is the scary one. Everybody goes, that's really dark. I don't know what to do with the contour. And then you see it on your face and you're like, ah, and you try to like brush it off and like, then it goes away. Just trust. When you send the makeup, do you send a diagram on how to put this on? Actually, yes, I do send like a placement map, but then I'm always there to help too. I have a makeup for dummies kind of explanation on YouTube for this that I like to send also. It's like if you're dumb and literally have never heard of any makeup before, how would I explain it? And so that video is really good for that. So it's really great for anybody new. Yes, trust the freaking process. Okay, same 3D brush. I'm flipping it over and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that brightening highlight, or you might call this concealer, and tap it in that inner corner of your eyeballs. So this is inside of our goggles, right? So we want the brightness inside our goggles. Oh, good. Yeah, that video, a lot of people find that video really helpful, but I'm always here too. Like you guys can always text me and be like, yo, I need help or whatever. That's what I'm here for. So this brightening highlight, we're putting kind of just here down the center and across the center of our face. So T-zone. And this is where our brightness goes. We just jam it all in there, right? So when I apply my brightening highlight, you can see that inside my goggles, it's really bright. Outside my goggles, it's really dark, okay? Now I'm going to use the same brush and come into my main highlight shade. We call it a main highlight. You might know it as foundation. It's the one closest to your skin tone. And I'm going to fill in kind of everywhere else. So anywhere that there's not, that I don't want super bright or super dark, I'm adding the main foundation shade. And you don't need a super heavy like layer. It's really, really pretty, and it blends really, like it blends all, I almost said it blends meltily. It blends very meltily into your skin. Words are hard. It's fine. Meltily is a word now. And then I'm going to take this same brush, the same one that I applied my contour with, and I'm just going to kind of tap these colors in to blend them. So you can use the same brush. It doesn't get all crazy and mixed up and wild. Like, it's not like softly. Thank you. I'm dumb. It's not like paint where if your paintbrush is wet and you put it into another color and then the colors mix. It's not like that. This is a very easy to use cream, and it's very pigmented, so that it's very, very little product. You don't realize how little you're actually using, or how little you actually have to use. And everything just kind of melts in together. So there's no question about like you could just use one whole brush. How often do you wash your brushes? I use the Saint brush cleansing spray. It's better than even the Cinema Secrets. And I'm someone who I used to love the Cinema Secrets. Now it's the Saint brush cleaner. Anyways, I do that about once every day or two. And then you'll know when your brush needs to get clean, because you'll see it kind of, see how you can't really see the whites past there. It's time to clean it. And if your makeup starts to feel a little like it's not blending well, or it's kind of patchy, then it's time to clean your brushes. So the brush cleansing spray is instant dry. So you can clean your brush. It's instantly clean, instantly antibacteria, and instant dry, ready to use right away. And then once a month or so, I recommend using the Saint brush soap. It comes in like a little container with like a little silicone scrubby pad, and you can just wash your brushes with soap and water with that and lay them flat to dry overnight. Yeah, the brush cleaning spray is wild. Like, it's crazy how well it cleans. I'll show you after I get done with this, if I don't forget. I have ADHD pretty bad. Okay, so now I've used my contour, my brightening highlight, my main highlight. So foundation, concealer, contour, basically. Oh, thank you! Did you hear today's part 2 of the OnlyFans Pimp? The OnlyFans Pimp episode was wild. It is 100% sex trafficking. 100%. These girls were involved in sex trafficking. And I am so glad that they came to us with it so that we could share it, because it really is shining a light. And I am just like, it's beyond. So I hope that this guy goes to jail for a really long time. Thank you for listening. Yeah, you have to listen. What are you even waiting for? I don't even know. Okay, so now I've applied these 3 main shades. If you want a color match, just comment match. I will make sure you get a color match to this makeup. So now I'm going to use a bronzer. So you can see the difference between the contour and the bronzer. This one's like a more grayish tone. This one's a more chocolatey brown with a little bit more like orangey tone in it. So I'm going to use my bronzer. And remember what I said about those goggles? So the inside here, we want to be really bright. So we're kind of, with our bronzer, still staying on the outside of the goggles, just coming in a little bit closer than the contour was. It's the Dating Detectives. I'm actually wearing the shirt. Oh my God, you clean for, oh my gosh. That is awful to hear. What's the difference between bronzer and contour? I use my bronzer for both. Wondering if I make the switch, can I use one? But okay, so that's a really good question. Bronzer is warm, contour is cool. So if you look at these shadows, you can see that they're like grayish in tone, like your natural shadows. Anywhere there's a shadow, it's a cool gray ashy tone. But if you want to use bronzer, we call it brontouring. It's really what makes you feel pretty. Like, it doesn't have to be that super cool, like, you know, ashy tone unless you want it to be. I like both of them because it adds dimension. I like how it looks like a shadow here, and then this warmth with the bronzer creates like a sun-kissed look. So it gives me 2 different vibes. Like, I can still do the sun-kissed look, but then there's still that cool gray ashy shadow. So it's really preference. You don't need both of them. It's a lot of people just skip the contour and go straight to bronzer. I personally like it. I think it adds a bit of dimension, but it's totally preference for you. And if you feel beautiful without the contour, then you can skip the contour. You know what I mean? Like, do what makes you feel the best and like what works for you. But you can see like in certain angles, you see that cool tone there. And then up here you have like the warmth. And so it just adds dimension. Whereas over here, there's just a little bit of that cool shadow. And I haven't added the bronzer here. No, this isn't heavy at all, Erin. So this is actually, it's really, really lightweight actually. Even if you wear it full coverage, it's really, because it's so pigmented, you use very little. It's not heavy at all. It feels really, really good. And anybody else who's a Saint wearer, if you can chime in, like I prefer my customers to share their personal experience. Hey, Jolisa. Anyways, yeah, so the bronzer, it's at the end of the day, it's just really preference, right? But I think it just adds a little kiss of the sun where your contour does something like totally different. What are your favorite brushes to use mostly? My favorite brushes, when you're not filming a video, how long does it take you to do your makeup? 4 minutes, including my eyeshadow. I did a video, actually, I take that back. I just posted a video today. Today, I had a meeting and it was 11:06 and I did my whole face and I finished it. It was 11:11 when I finished. So like 4 or 5 minutes. I would look like a clown. No, you would. If I switch, can I still use my powder eyeshadows with Saint? Yeah, Saint's eyeshadows are powders too. So there's a big selection. The only thing that's cream with Saint is just the face makeup. And then the eyeshadows are powder. And then there's powder illuminators, cream illuminators. There's a setting powder. But anyways, you can see like, and with your bronzer and your contour, I like to explain it like this. If you look at my, we'll just use my face for example, because here I am. When you find your cheekbone, it kind of sinks in, right? So when you look at a skull, it goes in at the cheeks. So whenever you're here, see how it's sitting in, like it's scooping under my cheek? That's where your contour goes. That's the shadow. That's the cool part. Roll your brush up to the top, and that's where your bronzer goes. So bronzer is where it rolls. Contour is where it sits in. And so that's how you learn where to put them. I think that's a really good way to learn, but it's a great place to start. But I really think that the bronzer and the contour, they just do two different jobs. And you can see it, but that's, I can see it more, I think, because I have a more trained eye. If you're someone who's like new to makeup and you're like, yeah, I just don't see like kind of like an ultrasound tech. Like if you're looking at a pregnant belly and they're like, oh, there's the arm. And you're like, that's not an arm. I have no idea what you're looking at. It's kind of like that. So do what makes you feel pretty. New Zealand. I think I don't know if New Zealand is counted in the Australia, when we open up in Australia. How is Saint with sensitive skin? I have many customers with sensitive skin who will not go back to anything else. Like they have found so much comfort in Saint. I think that like, obviously I have to say like, I am not a doctor. Please, refer to your medical provider. But I will say that I have many customers with rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, sensitive skin, and they absolutely love it. There's only 11 ingredients and there's no alcohols or drying ingredients. And it actually has beeswax in it, which is really, really good and healing for your skin. And it's notoriously known for not like clogging pores. So beeswax is really, really good for your skin. You can go to the Google machine and you bet your bottom dollar, they'll tell you all the information. So it's really, really, it's really good for your skin. And a lot of people, I have super sensitive skin, lots of allergies, and I love Saint. Tender baby skin here. I get hives from everything. This makeup works really well. Oh, thank you. Thanks for sharing your experiences, ladies. Does the foundation cover up redness? So this makeup has color correcting properties. So if you are someone with redness, like rosacea, or you have spots of acne or whatever, you will get a lot of coverage with a little bit of makeup because of the color correcting properties in this makeup. But we also have color correctors if you need them. I always recommend if you have an area where you need, of course, I'm always happy to help. You can text me too. Oh, but Jesus, hold on. There's my phone number, you guys. I just commented my number. Please feel free to text me with any questions you have also. Like, let me pin it. There we go. You can text me anytime to ask questions. It's not a robot, it's me. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, so I always recommend to my customers, if there's areas of like redness, for instance, right? I recommend starting with just the foundation, just in case, like, that way you're not buying extra things that you might not need. You might get really good coverage. But then if you need more and you're like, I still want to color correct and use my makeup, then I'll help you find like a color corrector. That way you're not getting more than you need. But I can always just, once I look at your selfie, I'll be able to help you determine like if you need an extra color corrector or something. So there's demi shades, which are like color correctors for literally everything. Yeah, June is a really good color for color correcting. Hey, Amy. I like how it just kind of cancels out the redness. But there's a lot of different tricks that we have for color correcting too. The idea is to wear less makeup. And what people don't realize when they switch to Saint, they try to apply it like their regular liquid foundation, which is a ton of makeup and you're smearing it and you're trying to get it everywhere. You just don't have to do that with this. Like you can still see my skin. It's not cakey. It's not super like heavy layers, but the dimension that it gives makes it look like I'm actually wearing more makeup than I am. I'm really not wearing that much makeup and it's really, really cool. This is my favorite, well, my new favorite illuminator. This is Nova. This is one of the new guys that Saint got in. This is a little too much, Mackenzie, but it's fine. Rose Gold is another one of my favorites. And these are just really pretty sheer illuminators that sit on the tops, the high points of your face. And it kind of just like catches the light. So it adds a little pop of glow without being super crazy. Yeah, Aspen. Thank you, Jen. Aspen is a contour shade that looks like a light grayish brown color, but it's actually a green base, so it cancels red really well. Adrian, text me. I can help you with all that stuff. So when you're applying like the brightness shade, for instance, like let's say if you're talking about the brightness like on the inner corners, if you treat your makeup like a powder, right? Let's pretend that our cream makeup is actually a powder. We're going to take a brush and lightly sweep into it. Like, see, super light. We're not digging or gouging. Lightly sweeping like it's a powder, right? And we're applying this right here on the inner corners, kind of like following your nose, like kind of coming straight down your nose, right? If you can apply this straight down the side of your nose, like literally like 2 lines on either side of your nose, right? And then feather outward toward your cheek, you'll get that brightness. You got it. Bye. Oh yeah, give me a text. I'll be available. Just text me anytime. I don't have the pretty lighter color. Oh, do you have any brightening highlight at all? Because if not, just pick up they're only $16 a piece and it's really easy to just kind of pop one into your palette. These are for anybody who hasn't seen these. These are just little magnetic tins filled with makeup and they just magnetize right in so you can replace one or add one or whatever. Oh, get a brightening highlight. You'll see the difference. Like you see how when I talked about the goggles and you see how bright this is in here and you can add brightness. Like this will really add that brightness right around your eyes. It really opens your eyes and makes you look really wide awake. Another great way to kind of brighten around the eyes, take your brightening highlight, not super crazy amounts, you guys, calm down. Oh, I love you. You know I got you. Yay! I'm glad you find them helpful, Stacy. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take this brightening highlight and create like a letter C around your eye. So this way and this way, right? So if you can use this brightening highlight and create the letter C Notice how I didn't use a lot. I'm just lightly kind of. Can too much cause it to sit in the creases under the eyes? Yes, that's why you didn't see me shoving a whole bunch of product here. I put it right here and then lightly sweep it in. Because this makeup, it'll melt into your skin. Kind of like an ice cube on a countertop when it gets warmer and softer. Like your makeup on your skin will get warmer and softer and it starts to melt and it just kind of starts to spread. Your makeup will kind of do that. Not so much in a liquid form, but just to give you a visual, it's kind of like that. So that's why if you apply all like your concealer and just shove it under here under all this crepiness, it'll crease. You don't actually need to do that. Just kind of keep it in the inner corner. And notice how I brought it down my nose where there's no texture down here, so I could get that bright without putting the brightness in those lines. If you happen to put too much makeup there or you need to pick it up or whatever, I'm missing a beauty blender. Hold on. Oh, let's see. If you get too much makeup here, you use your beauty blender and you can just press in right here and this will pick up any excess product. You can even spray your beauty blender with setting spray and press it in here to avoid the caking and the creasing. But usually if it's caking and creasing, there's too much. That's it. There's just too much. And it's hard to train yourself to use less because we're so used to slathering and covering our entire face. So if you can train yourself to use less, you'll get more dimension and you'll actually look a lot brighter with less makeup. It's kind of cool. So brightening around the eyes, we're just creating the letter C. Can you see the difference? Can you see? I'm punny. I'll kind of do it a little bit heavier just so you can kind of see. Oh, thank you for listening to the Dating Detectives. See how it kind of creates that brightness right there? As opposed to here, it's a little darker. So this is a really great trick to really opening up your eyes and just looking so much more bright and awake, little less dead. Right there. Okay. My light is on like a timer situation, I guess. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. That is not the right color, right? Is it that one? Oh, what color were we on? Oh boy. Oh, I want it just to look normal. Okay. So creating these C's around our eye, right? So C here, and then coming up here for a little eye lift. So it's really interesting how the places where you put your brightening highlight and where you put all the shades can really make a big, big difference. Alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Like my 4th grade choir teacher or whatever grade I was in. So super bright right there inside my goggles, right? And then right outside my goggles, we're kind of creating like a pretend like facelift, like dimension and like shape where I didn't have. The Lord did not give me cheekbones, but the saint did. Tap into our blush, add a little bit of color up here. Super, super pigmented, so you don't need a whole heavy lot of amount. Like you just tap it on. You guys, my words are wild. You don't need a whole heavy lot of amount. It's fine. That's what we're doing. And then different brushes will kind of give you different looks. So this is one of my favorites. It's the blush and bronzer brush. This one, the detail brush, and the 3D brush. These are ones that you will see me using regularly because they give you different options. This one has a big fluffy end. There's a small end. There's all these different ends give you, and all the brushes are double-ended too. Definitely try more brushes. If you're not crazy about your application, or maybe you want to explore with a different, like, let's say you're getting really light coverage and you want more full coverage or vice versa, just try a different brush. If I were to apply all of my makeup all over my face with just this brush is very fluffy. It's going to be very, very light coverage, and it's going to, like, it'll show the color, but you'll see a lot more of my skin through it. Whereas if I apply with something more dense, like the 3D brush, it's going to give me more full coverage. So different brushes make a huge difference on on your face. And so, but it's really fun to explore and kind of play with. And once you get different brushes, you start to see, you know, how they work differently, and they can also work together. You can do your whole face with one brush. Like, you don't have to buy 147 brushes, but if you want to try different ones, it's not a bad option. How many hours does the foundation stay on? For most people, it stays on all day. The only time I hear that it's not staying on, usually it's the wrong shade, which I can totally help you replace a shade. Or there's no, a lot of times if someone says, hey, my makeup's not staying on, I say, hey, can you send me a picture with your makeup on? I want to see how the application is. I want to check the shade. And usually I can see where there's like, where they need to exfoliate. Like, usually you can see where there's like peach fuzz, and you can really, really see that there needs to be just exfoliation. And then once they exfoliate, usually the problem is gone. So most people, like with, you know, regular skincare and exfoliation, you should get full day wear out of your makeup. I use, mine stays over 12 hours. Yeah, it's really good. But a lot of it, obviously, if your skincare is garbage, then your makeup is probably going to be garbage too. But for most people, it'll stay all day. But I also still love a setting spray. And I'm in Florida in the humidity, and I do surveillance in a 140-degree car, and my makeup stays just fine. Yeah, it's funny. You hated your 3D brush. The more you use it, the easier it gets. Like, it's just a matter of like learning. It's the same makeup as the liquid foundation, but it's just it's a whole, like, it's still makeup. I always say it's like driving in the US versus the UK. Like, you're on the other side of the car, but it's still a car, right? And it's just, things are just different. You got to kind of like switch your brain to the other side. So it's kind of like that, but it's not impossible. And it is really makeup for dummies. Like, anyone can do it. Erin, these are $16 a shade, and it's customized to you. So you build your palette based on your budget, your needs, whatever. So $16. So if you want to, like, if you're like, okay, I want to replace my foundation out of your makeup bag, then you're going to want to put this in your cart. And then if you know what I mean? Like, so it's literally 1 for 1. So if you want to like replace your whole entire makeup bag, just like throw it away and get like a Saint palette or whatever, you can, the 12 collection, I think the 12 collection is like, you get this, an entire palette full of all the shades, the compact itself, all the eyeshadows, 2 or 3 brushes and everything. And it's like $250 or something, $260. Yeah, I have skincare videos. I will actually, hold on, let me screenshot this. I can tag you in a couple of them. I need to do more with like my nighttime and daytime routine. Exfoliation. So exfoliation can be with anything. I use the makeup eraser cloths, and so the makeup eraser cloths makeup eraser is a really good brand, but you can use just like a washcloth, I guess, like, or like a microfiber. But whenever you wash your face, if you go in circles, that's a good exfoliator. But also to do a little bit of a deeper exfoliation, I always recommend these Tinkle razors. So you can get these at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or whatever. I have them on my Amazon storefront too, but these little Tinkle razors, you just shave your face and it'll get rid of any excess like peach fuzz and, you know, dead skin cells and bacteria and all the gunk that's on your skin. It'll just like shave it all away, and your makeup will sit so flawlessly on your skin. I really like doing that about once a week or every 2 weeks or so. Thanks, Amy. Don't worry, I got you. I need to do a skincare video anyway, so I can do that. A lot of people ask me how I take off my eyeshadow or wash my face with my lashes anyways. So I need to do one of those too. But anyways, so if you want to get a color match, the color match is free. And what happens is when you send me, you just comment the word match here, and I send you, or just text me, whatever. Say, just text me just normal, like, hey girl, it's me. Like, you can totally, it's a normal text number. Anyway, so once you submit your color match picture, I look at your picture and I determine your main shade, so like your foundation, your brightening highlight and your contour. And then I'll determine, like, based on your skin level or skin tone, eye color, hair color, what lip and cheek shades and bronzers, and I'll even throw together like some eyeshadow combos. And what I do is I put it into a shopping list, and I send you a shopping list and say, here's my items that I recommend for you. And usually I recommend more than you probably need, just to give you like options. Like if you're like, well, I don't like this shade, but I would use, you know what I mean? And then I create a shopping list. And when you pull up your shopping list, you say, oh, okay, I like this item, and you put it in the cart. I don't like that item, so you don't put it in the cart. So once I send you the shopping list, you add to your cart only what you want, what's in your budget, whatever. And then you can always add more later. It's just like a retail store. It's just like going into a store and buying only the products you want. It's the same thing. I just tell you what shades. The only shade I recommend, although you can get whatever shades you want, and there's different contour shades. Like I use Olive. This is Astoria. Like you can use multiple ones. And throughout the seasons, your shade is going to change too. But I recommend sticking with the colors I match you to first, and then getting them and trying them. And I'm pretty good at color matching, but if there's a shade you're not crazy about, like we can totally swap it out. And the company lets us do that. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you're not crazy about a shade, or if you just don't like the makeup, you can just return it. They make it really easy. But it really is, it's a pretty easy process. I tried to streamline it so that my customers feel like they not overwhelmed. I did this. It was super easy and helpful. Yay! Thank you for saying that. I'm so glad. Also, I forgot to show you guys, I have setting powder in here too. So the setting powder, see how it's white, and my brush, the gunk on my brush, it doesn't transfer. I put the setting powder right here on my inner corners, like where I put that brightening highlight, and it kind of gives you like a little, like a pretend filter, like the makeup is the filter. Like it gives you like a blurred, like filtered look. I don't know, but it doesn't look. See how bright and pretty that is? It's really nice. I love this makeup so much. I just think it's really easy for women. Like makeup is hard, right? And it's like, okay, we have this foundation. Now I got to find a concealer. And so you're looking for, and this is all kind of like all in one. You have someone telling you, get these shades. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you just try them. And then whatever is your style, you just kind of do that. So everybody kind of finds their own style with Saint, even though like I'll tell you what shades to get, but then you determine, what your style is. Like maybe you don't want to use bronzer. Maybe you think nude lip and cheek is stupid. You can be wrong, but you can still think it's stupid. I'm just kidding. That's a really pretty color. Eye serum for dark circles and wrinkles. I use the Drunk Elephant, but I don't have dark circles, so I don't know how it does the dark circles. But the night serum that I use is this stuff right here. This is the it's a glycolic night serum by Drunk Elephant. But definitely the Saint cream. The Saint cream is, like, I'm not crazy about the other skincare. I like the Refresh wipes and the Saint cream. They are the absolute best for nighttime skincare. I want to show you guys this real quick. So this is how I clean my brushes, so you can kind of see all the makeup on there, and then you just kind of spray it. So this is the Saint brush cleanser. This is a instant dry antibacterial. So you can see it's kind of, I wet my brush with it and just kind of swirly whirl all the makeup off my brush onto like a microfiber. And the microfiber is really, it's soft. It's soft enough for the bristles. Like it's not gonna damage the bristles, and it just comes super clean. And it kind of like, it's antibacterial too. So it's really, really great for if you're someone who's prone to breakouts, keeping the bacteria at bay. And this is really great to use in between like soap and water washes. So yeah, it's really, really easy to use, and it's instantly dry. Like it's not wet, it's dry. Just complete, like ready to use instantly. It's kind of really cool. It's really nice because you have to maintain the integrity of your brushes, but you also want to make sure that like your skin, you want to take care of your skin too. And also your makeup it doesn't go on really pretty if like your brushes are gunky. You know what I mean? Like it can come out kind of patchy. So anyways, yeah, nice clean brush. So that's really nice to use. And then, like I said, maybe once a month I would use the soap. Like the Saint soap is, you don't use very much of it. It's one full bar of soap, like a round bar of soap. And it comes in a little dish with the lid, and it has the silicone scrubbies. And it has tea tree. So it's this and the brush soap are really, really conditioning for your bristles. So it's a great way to take care of your brushes. It's a great way to take care of your skin, you know, in between cleaning your brushes. That's all going to fall down. Watch. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so definitely get the brush cleansing spray or the brush, is it brush cleaner, brush cleanser, whatever it's called. So definitely get that. But please text me if you have any questions. I am so more than happy to help. Like, this job is the best job in the whole wide world. Like, the women, y'all have never had friends. Like, I've never had, like, actual female friends who, like, I don't know, just love me. So it's really cool, like, being surrounded by all these women and just, like, really cool, like, it's really cool people. It's been really cool getting to know everybody and just kind of connecting. And there's so many things that I have in common with so many of you, and it just feels like home. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you find your people and you're just like, this feels really safe. Like, this feels really good. This feels like home. And that's kind of how I feel here. So, please know you can text me anytime. And I really, really enjoy talking to y'all. So color match, just comment here, match. I'll send you the link. And otherwise you can just text me on this number. I love you guys, and I hope you have a really good night. And I hope you had a great Monday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Bye.